Welcome to Dan's haunted cottage. Step inside if you dare. Good afternoon, guys. It's Monday afternoon. Spring, I think, is finally here, although I guess we haven't seen the last of the snow and the bad weather. But yeah, spring's finally here, and that makes me happy. So what I want to talk about this afternoon is I'd like to talk about something called infrasound. Now, infrasound is inaudible to the human ear, and it's 20 hertz or below. And what it tends to do is it tends to give people the feelings. It makes them jittery, it makes them nervous. In lots of cases and instances, it can actually cause hallucinations. So you see where I'm going with this, do you? Well, let's run with it and see what you think. But what it is it causes lots of hallucinations, and it gives someone the feeling of it's the flight or fight action that comes in. So you really get nervous with it. It has all sorts of different reactions and actions on the human body in different parts of the human body. In actual fact, the military use infrasound, and I believe that they have done. They've experimented it for quite a few years as a weapon. Well, the thing about infrasound is a lot of people that experience it, as I say, they believe that they're being haunted. They have all these weird and wonderful feelings of apparitions. They see apparitions as well. And there was one instance, it was discovered by a guy who was called Les Tandy. No, tell a lie, Vic Tandy. And he was a British scientist, and he discovered it quite a few years ago now. And the reason, or how he discovered it, is that he was working in a laboratory that was purportedly haunted. People didn't want to work in there, people didn't want to go in there. They said that they had all feelings of fear, and they were seeing things out of the corner of their eye. And this is something that Vic himself experienced when he went and worked in said laboratory. Now, he didn't really know what it was, but he was reported that he reported seeing shadows out the corner of his eyes, feelings of nervousness, dry mouth, feeling sick, all of those type of things that people generally find or feel when they're going into an allegedly haunted property. And he didn't realise what it was until I think he had something like there was something in there that the sound was resonating with. Obviously he couldn't hear it because it was below the level of human hearing, but he saw something in there. It was I think it was a thin bladed, something like I think it was like a fencing foil or something like that. But he noticed that the blade was actually vibrating. And of course that made him then, he wanted to know what was causing it. I'm not sure what was causing it. I believe that it was a fan that was in the building or was in the laboratory, and it wasn't actually working properly, and so it was causing this infrasound and this vibration. And he worked out, I don't know how he done it, but he done a lot of experiments with the infrasound once he discovered it. And he realised that the infrasound was resonating at about 19 hertz, which is just about the same resonance as the eye, or the nerves in the back of the eye. And so it was causing him to experience these experiences. Now, that's the scientific reason for it. And, I do go along with that. I mean, can't argue with infrasound. It's actually been discovered. It's been studied, and of course they've come up with lots of different white papers on it, scientific papers. However, my argument is, and I'm not saying it is because it might very well not be, is infrasound actually causing you to suffer these hallucinations, or is it giving you hallucinations? Let's put it that way. Is it actually giving you hallucinations? Or is it opening up your perception of a different dimension? Is it allowing you to see things that are there, but you can't see them in normal everyday life? And this is something that's always interested me, infrasound, because as I say, I believe that the governments, I'm not sure if it's our government or the American government, it's probably both to be honest, but I believe I've heard and read that they've used it in tests, and it's actually made soldiers urinate themselves, defecate themselves, and just release their bowel movements and their bladder movements. Now, I've read that. Whether there's any facts to it, I can't say, so don't quote me on that. But this is what I've also been told it by what I believe is a credible source. But you know, I don't really want to work with second-hand information. I don't want to give you information that's been passed down to me where I haven't actually researched it thoroughly myself. But this is what I wonder. I wonder if it's actually opening up our perception to different dimensions rather than creating those dimensions. So that's just a pause for thought. But infrasound, have a read on it. Go on the internet, have a look. It works below 20 hertz. And that's below the level of human hearing, and yeah, it causes all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But is it infrasound that's, and if it is infrasound, and it is infrasound that's causing these hallucinations, is there infrasound in every haunted environment, and is there infrasound in everyday life? Because there's a lot of reported I believe that in America they say that there was 20% of people actually said in a poll, and I'm not big on statistics really, because I think that they can be massaged to suit someone's purposes, but they say that 20% of the poll that they carried out, people admitted to actually seeing an apparition, but they believe that there is far, far more than that that actually have experienced that. They believe there's probably somewhere between 60 to 80%. So that's, you know, that's a lot of people, a lot of people. But, you know, is infrasound the culprit? Is it the problem? Or is it just opening up a different perception to different realities and giving us a look behind the curtain, so to speak? I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more experiments on it. I'm sure they're going to be doing a lot more research on it. I myself am going to look into it thoroughly and see what else I can find out about it, because, you know, even from a scientific perspective, it really, really interests me. And it's good to have a level or base level knowledge on what can be the cause and the possibility behind these apparitions and these so-called ghosts. Say so-called because, you know, I've no evidence that they actually exist. I believe they do, and I would stake money on it and a reputation, but I can't tell you if they do or not. But science, as I say, has a lot of answers, and I'm sure that science will one day be the key to finding out what is behind the curtain. So thank you very much. I hope spring lasts for not just me, but for everybody. Go out there, enjoy yourselves, be safe, be happy, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye now, guys. Thank you.